Hey, welcome back. In this explainer, we're going to level up your communication with part 2 on modals. And look, this isn't just about grammar, okay? We're building a high-precision toolkit specifically for technical communication. So let's get right into it. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by really sharpening our language of certainty. Then we'll see how that same language works across time, past, present, and future. After that, we'll get into describing actions and abilities. And finally, we'll look at some really advanced tools for habits and preferences. By the end of this, you're going to have a full toolkit for way clearer communication. In the world of tech, being vague, well, it can be a total disaster. A fuzzy bug report or a wishy-washy status update can cost so much time and money. This is exactly where modals give us the power to be incredibly precise. Think about this sentence for a second. The API is returning an error. We've all seen a Jira ticket or a Slack message like this, right? But honestly, how helpful is that? It tells you there's a problem, but it gives you absolutely no clue about the cause, how certain we are, or what to do next. We can do so much better. And this is the difference. It's night and day. Instead of just saying there's a problem, we can give a really strong logical conclusion. The API must be overloaded. Or if we're less sure, we can suggest a possibility. The bug may be in the login module, or maybe it could be network traffic. See how each one of those gives your team a real direction to start troubleshooting? So, here's the key takeaway. Modals let us signal our level of confidence. If you are 100% sure, you just state the fact. The system is down. Simple. But when you're making a deduction based on the evidence you have, that's when you use must. And for those weaker possibilities, may or could are going to be your best friends. And this same precision works in the negative too. The real power move here is using can't. In this context, it's not about ability, it's about impossibility. If you see debug code in a file, you know it can't be the final version. Must not gives you that strong negative conclusion, while may not just signals a simple possibility. Okay, so we pretty much nailed down certainty and the present. But these tools, they get even more powerful when we start applying them across time. This is absolutely essential for things like incident reports and project planning. This timeline is the perfect roadmap for us. We just covered the present. So now we're going to look back using modals to figure out what happened in the past. And then we'll look forward to talk about our expectations for the future. Now, to talk about the past with any degree of certainty, you need this one key structure. It's the modal plus the word have plus the past participle of the verb. This is so important for technical incident analysis. When you're in a postmortem trying to figure out what went wrong, this is the exact language you need. And here you can see it in action. For a strong conclusion, the server must have crashed. For a possible cause, the issue may have been caused by the update. Or to rule something out completely based on evidence, that couldn't have been the final file. This is how you build a clear, logical story of a past event. And looking ahead, will is for something that's almost 100% certain. Should is perfect for strong expectations. We use this constantly in project management, right? May points to a possibility we need to be ready for. And check out that last one, should have. It's the perfect phrase for describing an expectation from the past that, well, didn't quite happen. Awesome, let's keep adding some more tools to our kit. Now we're going to focus on how to describe actions that are happening right now and how to talk about what a system or, a person is capable of doing. So to talk about an action that's in progress, we use what's called a progressive modal. The structure is really simple. You take your modal, you add be for the present or have been for the past, and then you just tack on your verb ending in ing. You can really see the difference here. For the present, you might say, the server may be restarting. That describes something possibly happening right now. For the past, you'd say something like, the system may have been updating when the error occurred. This lets you pinpoint an action that was in progress when something else happened. It's super useful. Next up, let's talk about ability. Can is our go-to for talking about skills in the present, like she can solve this problem. It's also great for describing what's possible within a system, like users can reset their passwords. And for the past, we just flip it to could or couldn't. Easy enough? All right, let's get into some of the really advanced stuff, the most useful tools in the whole kit. We're going to look at describing past habits, expressing what we prefer, and figuring out how to combine different modal forms the right way. Now, this is a subtle one, but it's really important. The difference between would and used to. For repeated actions in the past, you can actually use either one. But, and this is the key thing to remember, for past states or situations that just aren't true anymore, you have to use used to. Let's look at how that actually works. For a repeated action, it's totally fine to say, the old system would generate reports every night. That works perfectly. But for a state of being, like how fast the system was, you have to say, the old platform used to be much slower. You just can't use would in that sentence. Okay, now let's talk about a super common mistake. You can't just stick two modals, like will and can, right next to each other. It's just a hard and fast grammar rule. So how do we get around that? We fix it by using what's called a phrasal modal. Basically, instead of can, we swap in its equivalent be able to. This little trick lets us combine the future meaning of will with the ability of can. So, we will be able to finish tomorrow. Sounds perfect. And finally, let's talk about preferences. Would rather is just a fantastic, really professional way to say what you'd prefer to be doing. And I mean, come on, who wouldn't rather be fixing a bug than sitting through another long meeting? Whew, we've covered a lot of ground today, and we've put together a really powerful set of tools. So let's do a quick recap of everything that's now in your Precision Communication Toolkit. And here it is. You now have the right tools to express different levels of certainty, to analyze past problems with real precision, describe what's happening right now, state abilities and limitations, talk about old system behaviors, and even state your preferences professionally. This is the language that gets stuff done in tech. So as we wrap up, I've got a question for you. Take a look at this toolkit. Think about the very next email you have to write, or the next bug report, or even your next team meeting. Which one of these tools are you going to use first to make your communication that much sharper and more precise? Thanks for joining this explainer.